Howdy doody, ladies and gentlemen. As you may expect, I am day 9, and as you may or may not expect, it is match point at game number 3 between Dropbox and Yelp here at the After Hours Gaming League, where 8 top tech companies are battling it out for the chance to win $5,000 to donate to the charity of their choice. Right now, down 0-2 currently is Team Yelp, and though they are smiling in this photo, they might be reeling elsewhere because they now have to win 3 consecutive games to take their first ever win in AHGL. And meanwhile, the cold, hardened, battled badasses of Dropbox, sitting pretty right now at 2-0. We're going to find out what happens going into the game that's going to start about 10 seconds ago. Good luck, have fun. Hero from Team Yelp. Software engineer, loves exotic pets and outdoorsy things, and is for a change taking a trip to the indoors where we live, playing StarCraft 2 with his team, trying to make sure that he can extend it to Game 4 and avoid elimination as his team, Heroes Team Yelp, is down 0-2. In the bottom right, we have K-Mod. When asked why is his team going to win, K-Mod said, well, because we played this game at work, and we'd probably get fired if we didn't do something with it. So K-Mod, now scouting with his overlord. And I'm starting to notice a pattern among the players from Team Dropbox. K-Mod from Dropbox, his first name begins with a K and his last name begins Mod. If I tried to do that, I would be Splot, which is not nearly as beautiful as something like K-Mod or S. Bartel, but regardless, I think that we can appropriately acknowledge that I really could never join Yelp because of the beautiful Splot. People would be trying to identify me as the teammate, and everyone would think that they were making sound effects from the Batman cartoons. We see K-Mod in the bottom right. The map's going to be Tal'Darim Altar. The Dropbox Zerg is throwing down his pool on 14. In the bottom left, we see Hero, the Yelp Toss, the Yelpy Toss, now throwing down a gateway at the front of his base. Although almost always we do see players walling off the front, taking a faster early expansion. We have seen players like Liquid Tyler really favor always one basing opening on this map. Continued chrono boost, continued gassage, and now we do see that Hero from Team Yelp, which for a mnemonic device, just look at the Y in his name. That's what team he's on. He has gotten the chance to scout into his opponent's base, and uh-oh, it's the double drone versus the single probe. Oh my gosh, that makes me realize what DD meant. It is the infamous double drone from K-Mod, and oh, the hatch gets blocked. Look at that waypoint system. What's his APM at? My god, it was up at 200, just setting the waypoints, but K-Mod just chewed on this one probe a little bit and managed to plant his hatch down. K-Mod from Team Dropbox. Did I at least get it off center? Well, no. It's actually in a good position. But that's fine. Because in war, in battle, sometimes when you shoot at enemy lines, you say, did I get anybody? Is everybody dead over there? It's always good to at least get some confirmation. And oh no, accidentally pulling one probe off gas. Now Hero, the Yelp Toss, is in a little bit of trouble. Really getting that gas mined out as fully as possible is an essential component. Ouch! K-Mod chewing apart a pair of Zerglings. K-Mod now finishing up his hatch tech. We see that the gas is done, now throwing guys into that Vespene gas geyser to get that ever so important Zergling speed. Gonna get it at the oh so typical time as dictated by his early expand. And Hero, 2 assimilators, 2 probes, no problem. We see none other than a 4-gate coming up from Hero. Hero is chrono boosting all units, all tech, no probes, nothing of the sort. Hero, the Yelp probe, will he get it? If you like Yelp, give a cheer because they have just spattered blood in the killing fields of Tal'Darim Altar. Yelp, 5-star rating for free. I'd put $1 sign. Would see again. Would see again. Recommended for children of all ages. We now see a Roach Warren going down for K-Mod, which does mean that he will be getting either some early defense or wants to bring the noise a little bit early. We saw Zergling speed start and then immediately get canceled. It looks like K-Mod feeling a little uncomfortable with the situation that he is in. He is well aware that a 4 warp gate is en route. And now we see Hero starting to move out to the center of the map. Uh-oh. My gosh, he's building the pylon in one of the most valued pieces of property on the entire map. This glowing light receptacle. And now we see Hero moving through the center of the map across the combat tiles in the center, across the good old Dungeons and Dragons hex in the center of the map. We see the spine crawler from Kmod planting. The Dropbox Zerg trying to establish at least a little bit of defense. We do see a smorgasbord of various gateway units about to pop out. We see, tragically, still 2 in the assimilator. That mistake, I know you've made it. And our poor Yelp Protoss has done it too. Yelp would likely keel over dead if they suffered another 0-3 loss. Hero trying to keep the lifeline of his company pumping. Will he expand? He's supply blocked. I don't know about you, but whenever I'm supply blocked and I have a lot of money, I'm like, well, screw it. I guess I'll expand. I can't spend my money anywhere else. So we do see the army of Hero moving forward right now, and meanwhile, Kmod positioning his roaches at the front, looking quite comfortable to hold off this push. The lair is getting started. The evolution chamber for those essential Roachin upgrades. Second extractor down as well, and another pylon. It looks like, yep, expanding. That's what I do, and I'm supply blocked. We see Hero now advancing forward. We're going to see more spine crawlers move down for Kmod. Oh, Hero's just committed himself to a potential death. He has thrown down a couple of force fields, but now these units are committed. He is all in, and if he can get the queen, that would help a lot with his attack. But it looks like he might not be able to pull it off. Throwing down some force fields. The spine crawler's working against Kmod. The queen is still alive. And it looks like Hero now trying to warp in more stalkers. He's going to continue this push. If he can just target fire that one queen, it's made itself a little bit more vulnerable now. But a lot of the roaches actually taking some pretty serious damage. And it looks like the queen down to 24, down to 15. And that's where she's going to stay. Oh no, the queen, the queen, the queen, the queen, the queen, the queen is fine. The queen's fine, don't worry about it. She's okay. She's just chilling in the mineral patch. Meanwhile, we see Hero continuing to mass up a lot of stalkers. And the unfortunate truth is that Kmod is losing quite a lot of roaches, and this is a pretty unusual timing, taking this expansion as well, because generally most Protosses make this attack, this 4-gate attack, a little earlier. But of course, Hero, yes, please! Building a photon cannon at the front, and as you can see, it can begin shooting things right there, because that's the vision location for Hero right now. Meanwhile, in the main, we see that no other vital tech structures are down, and I honestly think Zerg is shocked to see this photon cannon going down right now. This is an appalling spot to be in as Zerg. You're getting cannon contained by a Protoss. We're seeing the 2 bases joining together with Creep. Another spine crawler going down. Kmod is stabilizing. For all the tension that was this queen's, really midlife crisis, for all that tension, Kmod is essentially stabilizing. We're starting to see more drones pop out. We are seeing the +1 attack upgrade en route. We are seeing the robotics facility go down. So that does mean that Hero will have himself an opportunity to get a little bit of higher tech. He's still warping in at the front. We don't see this enough, I think. We just do not see this enough. More roaches popping out. We see that there is the ground carapace, the glial reconstitution, more commonly known as that speed roach upgrade getting produced. Looks like we have 2 in this geyser, 2 in this geyser. This expansion we don't have any geysers. Meanwhile, back at the main we have 2 in this geyser. At this expansion we have 3. We have 3 in this geyser. There are 3. We also see that getting the 3rd gas at the expansion, Kmod continuing to add on larva. We see the energy is actually quite low on these queens. Now Hydros Den going down, and look at this. Oh no, sorry, it's still 2 in the gas. Hydros Den going down. Looks like it's going to be a Roach Hydros mix. Some Zerglings popping out as well. Hero continuing to mass up a lot of just basic gateway units at the front of the base. We see an Observer now encroaching forward, and an Immortal. Uh-oh. I honestly think that gateway armies with plus upgrades and Immortals are brutal for Zergs to deal with. But it looks like Immortals is not what's the permanent plan of Hero. He's going for Colossi, because he knows how this game was won in beta. And now we see Hero. Uh-oh, looks like a big push. Protoss throwing down a lot of really nice force fields, funneling all those Zerglings into the center. Zealots warping in behind. The Roach count is quite high, though. +1 armor not yet done, and it looks like Protoss might be able to repel the Zerg, but Zerg does have that speed upgrade. This is going to be very close. 9 roaches en route right now. More Stalkers warping in. There's the double chrono boost on the armor, on the Immortal, the Robo Bay nearing completion. Gotta get to the front, gotta get to the front, where there's roaches and Stalkers battling. He will not be able to get another warp in. Guys, I'm coming. The Immortal is gonna reach the front. The roaches getting blasted. Annihilated by the Immortal. 2 kills already. And now getting stuck behind. Run! Get out of there! The Immortal's going to try to retreat. It looks like the Zerglings will be able to pick 1 Stalker off. The poor Immortal is huffing and puffing as best as he can. Though Immortals do not get good presidential physical fitness awards, they sure can bench a lot of weight. We see Hero continuing to just have 2 in geysers. And here's the continued follow-up push by Kmod. This might be a little bit preemptive. This might be a little bit too preemptive by Kmod. But he does pull back, a big advantage of that faster army. He can always retreat in time. But we've seen that so much of the effort of Kmod has been trying to break that push. There hasn't been enough emphasis on what to do in the long term, how to get more bases, how to deal with the fact that higher and higher tech units are coming out. And oh no, it looks like Hero doesn't have a Twilight Council anywhere, so he's just going to research what he can. +1 shields. Oh my god. That means Protoss is going to have 3-of-a-kind upgrades. 1 attack, 1 armor, 1 shield. We see more Zealots and Stalkers continuing to morph in, and the Colossus is out. Zerg looks at Tal'Darim Altar and says, where is the most vulnerable location for me to expand? And it's here. Kmod taking the southern expansion. This is only going to be safe for Kmod if he starts to be very, very aggressive with his units. He is holding the key high ground. But we see, Hero hiding an expansion. He's hiding an expansion. But we see, Kmod actually does have aggression in his eyes. He is moving up to the front of the base. He doesn't have the Zergling speed upgrade. It's only the Roaches with speed. The Zealots evaporate relatively quickly, but with this 1 Colossus at the far back door, that is going to be just ripping through huge amounts of Zerg units. This could be very, very dangerous for either player. This ramp is the key area to control. If Zerg can get past that, he can bust in, pick off the Colossus, and continue to deal a lot of damage. But if the Protoss can keep the Zerg units funneled, he'll be in good shape. And it looks like Zerg does manage to slip up the ramp. An amazing concave, and there's the target fire. Oh no, he just tries to go straight after the Colossus and loses a lot of units in the process. But with the straight attack, we are now seeing a lot of these Protoss units start to fall. But the target fire on the Colossus a little too overeager, and many of the Zerg units fall. More Roaches, more Hydralisks popping out. Drones being transferred to the south expansion. I honestly think that Protoss might just simply not expect an expansion to be down here, so Kmod might get himself a nice little bit of an advantage. At the same time, we also see that the top left hidden base from Hero is getting started. Hilariously, a lot of players don't actually scout for these sorts of things. These sorts of plays are increasingly becoming commonplace at the top pro levels just due to the fact that so few people are managing expansions in their late game. We see Hero has essentially devoted all his resources to these 2 robotics facilities. He's going mass Immortal, Colossus. Immortal's good against Roaches, Colossus good against anything on the ground, and I guess I'll make Gateway units too. Roach Hydra out now for Kmod. We see that a Spire is getting produced as well. Corruptors or even Mutalisks would actually be a great choice for Zerg at this point in the game. Tons of drones popping out for the Zerg. We see both of them still under 50 workers. There's a lot of crazy aggression and exchanges going on at the start of the game. But keep in mind, this is the Dropbox Zerg, his team 2-0 right now. The Yelp toss advancing forward. Can the Yelp toss win with a push? If he could, he'd be able to put another individual win for Yelp on the table. Yelp has had almost no wins in individual games this series, but the Colossi now marching up to the sweet spot. The money juicy juice, the low ground, taking down the Extractor. Now poking forward, we see the Hydras and Roaches trying to repel, but oh no, it's the kill zone. The Queen gets taken out. She really was in trouble. Spider Sense told me that nearly 15 minutes ago. And all the Colossi are now swinging forward in full force, but oh no. Uh-oh, looks like Zerg is getting in a good position. These Immortals are going to have to do huge work on the Roaches. The Colossi get pulled back. Great micro by the Yelp toss. The Hydra's getting just cooked apart. And Zealots do their fancy little Zealot spank to do the final bits of damage to take it down. We now see the Colossi continuing to chew up through the Spinecrawler line. Very few units exist on the field for the Dropbox Zerg. And we see the natural expansion under fire. Hydra's getting roasted before they even get the chance to shoot. Oh no, not on hold position. Look at the incredible damage, almost killing a Hydralisk in 2 swipes. And there's the big push. We see a transfuse on the hatch. 1 Colossus falls down, but with the target firing, it just does not seem to be enough. Immortals, Zealots, Stalkers, darting forward right now. And this is not looking good for the Zerg player. Will Yelp be able to finally put a win on the table? 1 Corruptor's there, but the Corruptor is no longer there as it spins in a circle and detonates a lot like Tony Hawk. And there we see a 1 lone Zealot. The drone's now pulling forward. K-Mod trying to defend. The Colossi obliterating everything. Oh, the horror. Executor Colossus, 32 kills. And Yelp! Team Yelp manages to take itself a win. They will not go down 0-3 as they have in matches past. It means now that we will be going on to game number 4 between Yelp and Dropbox. It is still match point. If Dropbox can win this game, they will close the series out 3-1. If Yelp can take a win, they will bring it to a final ace match here in Week 4 of the After Hours Gaming League. Whatever you do, don't go away. Match number 4 coming up right after this.